and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Jeez, what a night. I was so busy yesterday. I didn't even stream. Oh, got some sleep. What a glorious thing it was. Exactly. The dog won't stop until it has a purpose. You don't want to be talking about dogs this morning. We got some creepy stuff for you this morning. Crazy, crazy stuff. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh. I worked on something yesterday, and I'll have to maybe they'll come by at some point in time. We'll just have to see because I'm not sure if this is something that they're interested in. Give me a second. Because I was working on some music. Oh, and I just never got a chance to pull up the stream like I was intending on. And everybody, if you saw the video, you know, if you know, you know. It was a very interesting day yesterday. It looks like the judge allowed Marla Hughes to file late. And I suspected that would happen if she filed. The judge is handling this all with kid gloves. So hooray. Way to go, judge. It just shows he doesn't give them any accountability. But like I said, it isn't over until it's over. Good morning. How you doing, Papa Butt? Denise, that's hilarious. Yes, I did get some sleep, but I was working a little bit late, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to set up a stream, and really, get everything dug into like I wanted to. So the brain was just a big fog. Oh my gosh! Look. Here we go.
Welcome to the shit show.
It starts right out the morning, just right out the gate. Gone to the dogs.
A new flavor of fuckery. 'Cause
everybody's
everybody's such you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid predicaments, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. We're all over again.
Gone to the Dogs. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the gifts, and everybody make sure that you give a big thanks to Gone to the Dogs. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I love it. I love it. Well, this morning we've got chronicling the ongoing intersectional struggle to liberate women exclusively defined as the legacy kind and the transgenders from the patriarchy, one microaggression at a time. It's adventures in the patriarchy, dating app standards and their I'm not even going to try to say the word, social effects. Zoomer Lib doles out sympathy for human tragedy of family friends based on a 2024 presidential election vote. Displaying her clear moral superiority over the MAGA deplorables, this future pink pussy hat cat lady explains that her capacity to drum up sympathy for really tragic life events affecting individuals close to her family depends entirely on their voting habits, reserved for those who voted for Camel Toe Harris. You just gotta see this.
I am going to who did they vote for to the motherfucking ground. Like, any scenario, my family will tell me, like, good news about a person we know. Like, they got their dream job, they're getting married, they're having a child. But who did they vote for before I decide I'm happy for them and I'm gonna congratulate them? Or, like, I'll be told something like...
And the vocal fry.
like, really tragic about someone, and I'll be like, didn't they vote for this person? Why would I feel bad for them? It's really sinister. I was actually at a bar recently, and I was talking...
Oh, imagine her being in a bar recently. Yeah. And if she's saying I was at a bar recently, I find her most likely to be full of garbage that this actually happened. Because this is very typical of some women. They like to say, well, I was at the bar recently and this guy all of a sudden, and I found out that it's probably bullshit. She was probably sitting in a bar and running her mouth, and the guy was like, yeah, you want to go home and pound? And she's like, well, I think you were so-and-so. He probably was just like, all right, well, you're psycho. I just wanted to know if you wanted to get laid. That's all. I'll just move on. I'll go talk to your hot friend over there. How's that?
Talking to this guy. I was not interested in this guy. I was literally only talking to him because my friend was...
you were talking to him because his friend was talking to your friend. Yeah. Well, he probably wasn't that into you either.
Talking to his friend, and he starts inching closer to me, and I'm like, oh no, this man is gonna kiss me. Oh, light bulb moment. I know he didn't.
Well, with those cute little rabbit teeth, why wouldn't he want to? I mean, look, she's got cute little rabbit teeth, little bunny teeth. I'm sure.
I know he didn't vote for Kamala. I'm gonna kill the vibe real quick. I proceed to go, wait,
And look at it. Look at the nails. Yeah, the nails give it away.
before you step any closer, I need to kill the vibe and ask you who you voted for.
Yeah. Please do. Good morning, chat. Good morning.
He proceeds to tell me he didn't vote at all. So I was like, okay, cool. This is done. And then I proceed to find out his friend asked me, why aren't you talking to my boy anymore? And I'm like, well, he told me he didn't vote. And he goes, why are you guys even talking about this right now? Like, we're at a bar. And I'm like, who'd you vote for? He refused to respond. I ended up just leaving the bar screaming at him, telling him he hates women.
Yep. There you go. Now I could see that much more often. Please do that. As you got your nasty undies hanging up on a curtain behind you.
And he should stop speaking to and dating them because you don't like them. Yeah, I'm just gonna be that person that kills the vibe for...
Yeah, she's got some cute little rabbit teeth though. Yeah, cute little rabbit teeth.
the rest of my life.
Yeah. See, cute little rabbit teeth. Is it Friday yet? Oh no. Yeah, I'm sure she kills the vibe pretty much anywhere that she goes. She explains she recently interrogated a man at a bar about whom he voted for. And when he refused to answer and told her it's weird and she was running an inquisition at a social drinking event, she began screaming at him, telling him he hates women and he should stop speaking to and dating them. Yeah. Katy Perry regrets feminism in a space stunt upon returning to her harrowing 11-minute journey, floating in space barely past the Kierman line in front of a camera to promote her upcoming tour. Perry cranked the dystopian cringe up to 11 by claiming that her ultra-expensive foray with other female celebrities was about love and belonging. Yeah.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making.
We weren't just taking up space. Mm. 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 For a little joyride, and then you come back and you're like kissing the ground like you did some big giant achievement. Okay.
Space for the future. And for me, like Gail said, this wasn't a ride, it wasn't a destination. It was
No,
a
it wasn't.
journey, and it was a supernatural one.
No, it wasn't.
And my journey has always been about love and belonging. And I think that we have all felt that sometimes we weren't worthy or we didn't belong in certain ways, no matter all the accolades, no matter all the studying, no matter anything.
Okay. I'm amazed that she's still yammering.
And I think today we all said it, like, we belong here. This is where we belong, and we feel very sure of that. So
Horny Rickles.
I think that you'll never know the amount of love that you have inside of you to give and
Until you throw it all up all over the place.
to receive until the day you launch, because you're leaving all the love behind.
No, you're just being slung to the outer edges of the planet. It's you had a long flight. It wasn't even that long. I mean, it would have been one thing if maybe they had launched you out and you'd done like a revolution revolution around the planet. That might have been something to say. You know, that might have been some bragging. You know, or maybe, you know, if you would have had something, you know, I don't know, wonderful happen, like you know, you found some sort of you know, alien spacecraft or something, then maybe I would say, hey, you know, that would have been pretty cool. But oh no, you just got on a rocket that went really fast, launched you up high enough that you floated around for a little bit, and then they brought you back down. Hooray. I'm so impressed. So big, so bold. Yet you have nothing to say about the astronauts that were stuck on a damn space station because they couldn't get off because their shit crapped out because NASA screwed up. What was it? Boeing, yeah, completely screwed up. Yeah, what about those people? You have much to say about them. Let's see. I voted for who is none of your fucking business. This is the United States of America. Oh, I don't make any qualms. It's funny whenever we're out because my wife and I, we have different political beliefs, and of course they'll start, you know, talking liberal bullshit, and I just walk away. And then my wife has to go, well, you didn't vote. You didn't vote for Kamala. It's just like, she has to tell them like it's some big deal. I'm like, what do they care if it's such a big deal? Like, who cares? It's like, I hate hearing the same garbage that I hear the mainstream media speaking all the damn time. I mean, great. That sounds wonderful to me. But it's like, well, you shouldn't say things like that. What? Why? I shouldn't say my beliefs? Like, go screw yourself. She just gave up. She just gives up anymore.
And you're surrendering, and you're hoping that you get another chance to love them again. And so when you come back down, you're like, oh, I get another chance, and I'm going to do it.
Oh my God. It's just like flying in a plane. You know, I don't get all ecstatic whenever I take a, you know, a 5-6 hour flight or, you know, 13-hour flight. God, I forget how long those are to the UK. They're freaking, you're in a plane for cramped up there for a long time. I'm always happy to hit the ground and get the hell out of that damn stuffed plane. She reportedly is now experiencing second thoughts about the wisdom of her publicity stunt, which accomplished the seemingly near impossible feat of uniting all America's bitterly divided political factions in universal disdain. The 11-minute expedition has received backlash for its jaw-dropping price tag, for its questionable environmental impact, and for the bizarre and dramatic antics of its 6-person crew after they touched down on Earth's soil. Following the backlash, it seems the Roar singer is experiencing second thoughts about her flight on Blue Origin, the space exploration company founded by Amazon billionaire Jeff Bezos. And inside sources call the criticism unexpected from a former American Idol judge and disheartening for the rest of the all-female crew. Katie doesn't regret going to space. It was life-changing. What she does regret is making a public spectacle of it. The insider exclusively revealed to DailyMail.com. The Force admitted that Perry now regrets kissing the ground after the flight, as well as her close-up camera moments inside the capsule where she held a daisy up to the camera, promoted the set list to her upcoming tour, and sang the lyric of "What a Wonderful World," all while suspended in microgravity. American women's wildly rigorous dating app standards and their deleterious effects on sexual relationships. Among the many ways that dating on the internet warps the natural courting process, enables women who are, according to evolutionary biology, the natural selector sex, to filter out all but the most conveniently attractive men. Conventionally, whatever. Dating apps have surged in popularity in the US, with an estimated 30% of adults having used them at some point. Nope, never. Among women, the usage is substantial, with a Pew Research Center study showing that around 27% of females ages 18 to 34 have used online dating platforms. Survey from Bumble found that 60% of women indicate they are looking for a man over 6 feet tall in their search filters. However, that number drops steeply as the height of men lowers. 30% of women want to date men who are 5'11", only 15% of women who are willing to date men who are 5'8" or shorter. In fact, more women are willing to date extreme heights, such as 7 feet tall, rather than a man who is 5'11". Anyone who is under 6 feet tall tends to be overlooked generally by the majority of women. Women are by nature notoriously pickier about whom they sleep with than men, who are primarily driven to spread their seed as far and as wide as possible. In this way, women act as the catalysts of natural selection, reproducing the most desirable genes and disregarding the worst. When dating apps facilitate is skewing the distribution of female dating partners wildly and unnaturally in favor of the very apex of the available men, which in turn has gone a long way to birthing the incel, involuntary celibate subculture among young American men, while doing nothing to improve women's mental health either, as they find themselves in a much fiercer competition with other women across a vast geographic area for the pick of the litter than they would have otherwise be without internet dating. So we blame it on the women again. I don't blame it on women. I blame it on social culture. Stupid people. Or you could be like this crazy lady in North Myers, Florida. A woman gets prison in bestiality cases. Husband's case continues. A North Fort Myers woman this weekend pleaded no contest to 3 charges she faced relating to bestiality with household pets. Samantha Lee White, 28, on Tuesday pleaded no contest to 3 counts of sexual activities involving animals. Assistant State Attorney Stephanie Russell on Natalie Savino dropped 4 of the charges as part of the plea deal, which is pretty sickening because 2 additional counts of sexual activities involving animals, 2 counts of child porn possession, and 1 count of child pornography possession. That's pretty sad. They dropped the child porn for dogs. Lee Circuit Judge Bruce Kyle sentenced White to 3 years in prison, followed by 3 years of probation for the activity with an animal. Kyle also ordered that White have no possession of animals or live with any animals during her probation. And she's not unattractive, which is, wow. State Attorney's Office said Wednesday news release that White is now listed on the Animal Abuse Registry, which tracks any person who has been convicted with a felony and or misdemeanor involving animal abuse and cruelty offenses. Lee County Sheriff's Office arrested Samantha White along with her husband, John White, 29, in February 2024, following an investigation. State's Attorney Office said Samantha White admitted to law enforcement that she had sexual contact with a canine. Yeah, that's my dog. According to the sheriff's office, Samantha White was arrested for sexual activities involving animals, while her husband was arrested for filming pornographic images or videos of a person and an animal engaged in activity. Lee County Domestic Animal Services removed 4 dogs from the home and evaluated them for injuries, authorities said. The sheriff's office said they were being safe and cared for at a domestic animal services. John White also appeared Tuesday before Kyle for a pretrial conference and has other similar hearing on May 20th. Court records indicate that John White was listed as a petitioner in a case involving the custody of their children. Louise Insiguers, who represents John White in the dispute, declined comment Thursday. Smart. The news press could not immediately reach Albert Logo, which represented Samantha White. Yeah, that's crazy. What is in the water in Florida? What is in the water with Florida? Because this one, you just have to see the news here.
A woman gets 3 years in prison for sexually abusing an animal. A judge in Lee County sentencing 28-year-old Samantha White to prison and 3 years probation. She's banned from having or living with animals during the probation and was added to the animal abuser registry.
Creepy. Yeah, it's just creepy. Like, why would anybody do that? I don't understand. But Florida has other problems. Florida has other problems there. It's this, oh Lord, there's kids involved. I'm going to be sick. Well, there's some stuff going on there. It's pretty wild. Martyr time. Florida teacher loses her job over using a student's preferred gender name. In middle school, I had a classmate who wanted to change his name. Everybody knew him by his first name, but he insisted that everyone start calling him by his middle name. After about 3 weeks of teachers and classmates forgetting which name to call him, one teacher finally asked him, "Why are you trying to use a different name from what your parents want to call you?" He didn't have an answer, and he stopped insisting on everyone using his middle name. That was nearly 40 years ago, and a totally different world. Today, kids want to change their names because the left's gender nonsense has infected them. Thankfully, sensible legislatures in red states are fighting back. One of those states has been at the forefront with Governor Ron DeSantis at the helm. Florida has led the fight. They slammed a Sunshine State's for 2022 parental rights in education bill. Remember the "Don't Say Gay" moniker the left ran with? But a subsequent law in 2023 forbade educators from playing along with the new gender name and pronouns madness. Now, he signed that into law in spring of 2023, and it reads in part, "A bill prohibits any employee, contractor, or student as a condition of employment, enrollment, or participation in public K through 12 educational institution to be required to refer to another individual by a person, title, or pronouns that do not align with the person's sex." Similarly, K through 12 public institution employee or contractor may not provide a student with individual's preferred personal title or pronouns if they do not correspond to the employee or contractor's sex. A school may not require a student to provide his or her preferred personal title pronouns and may not apply any penalty or adverse action against the student for not providing this information. One teacher is losing her job after she violated this law. Brevard Public Schools is refusing to renew Melissa Calhoun's contract because she used a student's preferred name that reflected the student's gender identity, according to the AP. The AP adds that Calhoun was acting out of compassion, according to the supporters, but the school system says that compassion doesn't allow teachers to break the law or go against the expectations of the parents. The parent is our partner in this education endeavor that we have with our children's superintendent, Mark Rendell, told Click Orlando. This law was actually put in place to make sure that partnership was maintained. Good for the school system for upholding the law, but you know what's going to happen next. The left will turn Calhoun into a martyr in the fight for wokeness and permanently damaged children. Calhoun's story is similar to that of Katie Rinder, a teacher at an elementary school in Cobb County, Georgia. Rinderley read her students a gender propaganda book when she was supposed to be teaching them math. A year before, she had read a class a book by Stacey Abrams while Abrams was campaigning for a chance to ruin Georgia. The gender propaganda book was Rinderley's second offense, so the school board chose not to renew her contract. The meeting had barely ended before Rinderley had activists lawyered up and began receiving support from leftist outfits like the Southern Poverty Law Center. You can bet the same thing will happen with Calhoun. Yeah, what is going on with these people? Just don't understand it. Just don't understand it. You're going to back to sleep. You have fun, Robert Tower. You have a good one. The Florida has a public video police cameras everywhere. Seems like most states don't have so freely. Yeah. Well, there is quite a long video of the arrest, and you can find that. I think it's like a Law and Crime of that Samantha Lee, where the police come and arrest her. I mean, just it's crazy. The whole story is crazy. According to court records, she had she said that she doesn't remember because she was drunk, but that she had thoughts about doing those kinds of things. She needs help. She needs mental help. Mm. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Well, we have more. Rumble in the urban jungle. What exactly is going on? By the time I moved to New York City in 1986, the Crazy Eddie consumer, like, oh, I read this one yesterday. Yeah, dirty Tish. Yeah, we read this one yesterday. We're not going to read that again. Ah, there we go. The most important parental rights case in years is before the Supreme Court of the United States right now. If there's one thing that undergirds parental rights, it's this: parents know what's best for their own children. If there is a second, it's Pierce versus Society of the Sisters, where the Supreme Court ruled that the child is not the mere creature of the state, and the parents have the right to direct the upbringing and education of children under their control, which is currently before the Supreme Court. At issue, according to Amy Howe at SCOTUS blog, is whether public schools burden parents' religious exercise when they compel elementary school children to participate in instruction on gender and sexuality against their parents' religious convictions and without notice or opportunity to opt out. Moreover, it will rule on who knows best, parents or school bureaucrats. The case involves the school district in Montgomery County, Minnesota. I believe that's right, Minnesota, which thought it would be a good idea, or Maryland, one of the two. Maybe it's Maryland. I think it's Maryland. I always forget. Which thought it would be a good idea to force the LGBTQ plus elemental Bs, QRXYZs, materials on children as young as age 3, including vulnerable kids with special needs. And here's one example. And that's okay because they're my words. Now, Howe explained on Tuesday as oral arguments before the Supreme Court began when the county announced in 2023 that it would allow parents to opt to have their children excused from instruction involving the storybooks. A group of Muslim, Catholic, and Ukrainian Orthodox parents went to federal court. They contended that the refusal to give them the option to opt their children out violated their constitutional right to freely exercise their religion, specifically their ability to instruct their children on issues of gender and sexuality according to their faith, and to control when and how these issues are introduced to their children. The school district claimed that it's just too hard to allow parents to opt their children out of the explicit content. And rather than getting rid of the highly controversial books, told parents just suck it up. Several of them sued, citing the aforementioned Wisconsin versus Yoder. NPR's Nina Tottenberg reported that the school district will argue that it is a logistical nightmare to take children out of a classroom when a single storybook that features same-sex parents or gay lesbian kids could come up at any time. Why? I don't understand how this could ever come up into a school, because that's not what they should be teaching you. Reading, writing, arithmetic, that's it. maybe a little bit of civil. Oh, geez. Good morning, Miami. Good to see you. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you for coming by. I got a little bit of Miami in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, Miami. Now, among the logistical questions is where to put the opted out kids and for how long, and how would schools then meet the needs of the alternate lessons plans? That's not a shot across the bow. I don't know what it is. The district is saying, in essence, that there's nowhere to hide from the gay indoctrination in public schools. Ah. All right. More from NPR. Parents of multiple faiths and even kids mobilized to have their views heard by the school board, with as many as 1,000 people gathering for one school board meeting. At one of these meetings, a boy who identified himself as Nick said he liked having storybooks that included the gay characters. We have rights too, he said. We deserve to have books in our school that teach people about the gay stuff and not touching you, hurting you physically. I don't know why you hate it so much. Okay. Explain to me what different right that someone that's gay is compared to someone that's straight or male or female. What different rights do they have? Nobody's been able to explain this to me. And whenever I bring this up, what right is being infringed on you? I mean, tell me what right is being infringed on you? I don't see it. You have the right to walk the streets, to speak your mind, to do all the things that anybody else does. You don't have any special rights. And if you're given any special rights, then that would be wrong. Sorry, kiddo. Minors do not have the right to determine the curriculum adopted by this public school district. That's the domain of the school board, which of course is accountable to parents. Or it ought to be anyway. That's what Supreme Court will decide. Tottenberg interviewed one of the plaintiffs in the case, Grace Peterson, whose daughter with Down syndrome had gay books forced on her at school. Peterson pulled her daughter out of school and began homeschooling because the girl found the books confusing. It's just very heartbreaking to me how many parents feel like they have to choose between educating their child and raising their children in their faith. The Beckett Legal Fund for Religious Liberty, which is representing the parents, explained in a court brief amending the school's prior opt-out policy in response to parents' religious objections further evinced a lack of general applicability. The non-neutrality, too. When parents protested the policy change, the board responded with a slew of hateful comments comparing the religiously and racially diverse petitioners to white supremacists and xenophobes. That was the opposite of government neutrality towards religion. As leftists always do during oral arguments on Tuesday, Eric Baxter, representing the plaintiff, declared this was clearly targeted at religious parents. Of course it is. Progressive pervert train cannot, in fact, progress without legions of psychopaths who learned at a young age how to parrot the official talking points. Jonathan Turley had one of the smartest takes on the school district's case. There's an irony in the position before the Supreme Court by public educators. A reversal may be critical change in slowing the departure of families from public schools. One of the families discussed in the case sold their house to afford private schooling for their children. By limiting such mandatory programs, some families may be less likely to seek alternatives to public schools. These families want to send their children to public schools while retaining their role in instilling religious values for their children. Montgomery County is forcing a choice that few parents will make against their family values. On earlier controversies over parental rights, Democrats will find that this is not partisan. It is primal for parents. But we all know the truth. The education establishment doesn't care about the children or their parents. They care about keeping the teachers' unions' bank accounts full and pushing the progressive narrative. They'll do it until the Supreme Court intervenes, and just let's hope that the court does the right thing and reaffirms parental rights. In an earlier version of this story, incorrectly attributed to quote to Wisconsin v. Yoder, we apologize for the error. And Paula Bolyard is managing editor of PJ Media. And you can always find more of her stuff right there. It's pretty easy. Hey, how's you doing? Living with FND. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 3 years in jail for abusing your dog. That'll get the word. No perverts welcome here. No, there's plenty of them there. Plenty of them there. I have been working on a little tune for one of my buddies here. Give me just a second. I'm wanting to see if I can switch here really quick. So I was working on something for Fall Storm. Now he said he wanted some pipe music. Yeah, some pipe music. So I gave a little bit of this, and I'll let you guys hear each one of these. So you like that? You like that? Well, there's more, because I was like, I don't know if I should put this to it. That, or should I put something like this? No, maybe. And then I also had this one. And then I had something like this one. No, can't hear it. You don't hear anything? No, damn it. All right, let me try something here. Stop that, and we'll go back here. I know what I did wrong. Give me a second. Stop. I'll have to present it again. I didn't have the audio shared. There we go. And we'll put it over here. Share that. And then this. All right. Now you should be able to hear it whenever I do this. All right. So this is the music I was working on. So you heard that, right? I'm waiting for a couple of seconds for you guys to catch up. Okay. Got that. All right. And then the second part of that would be something like this. And no. Something like that. And then I came up with another one that was closer to this.
Whispering winds, a calling star.
Yeah, he said he wanted to have a little bit of guitar with it. And then this one here.
Whispering wind.
And then this one here.
Fall storm. Fall storm.
And then I had the other one, which was
Fall storm.
I thought that was just too much of a shuffle.
Fall storm. Fall storm.
And then we had this one.
Fall.
What one did I?
Fall storm. Fall storm. Gifted hands, silver tongue, maker of wonder, breaker of none. In shadow.
And then this one.
Fall storm. Fall storm. Gifted hand.
And then
Fall storm. Fall storm. Gifted.
let's see. And then this one.
Fall storm. Fall storm. Gifted hand. Fall storm. Fall storm. Gifted hands, silver tongue, maker of wonder, breaker of none. In shadows you rise, with fire your eyes. Every craft, every art, played like strings upon your heart. Builder of tales, weaver of steel, no blade too sharp, no truth concealed. Oh, whisper his name, Volstorm again. Volstorm.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I was thinking. Silence is bliss. Burlesque style. You like that little bit of a speakeasy feeling. But see, it's up to him to decide which one he wants. Yeah, I can imagine Diva singing it. I like the one before this one, a little more of a beat. Well, all of them have a little bit of a beat. Some of them just take more to kick in. So I need to get with him is what I need to do. So that way I can figure out which one it is that he wants to have. Because it'll be good. It'll be good, whichever he chooses, I am sure. And it might be nothing close to what he's thinking. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'll just have to get with him. But that was just a nice little musical interlude in between. Hunter Biden Burisma's $5 million man. Hunter Biden, a former first son, and Biden family bagman, pulled in nearly $5 million from Ukraine energy giant Burisma. Just released court documents reveal, and it's safe to assume that the big guy got his 10%. Swift Boating America author Hans Manke posted Tuesday that following Biden's pardon in December of last year by President Joe Biden, the judge in the United States versus Biden received a request to release the search warrants and affidavits, which have now been made public. The documents reveal a trail of money flowing in, even through media claimed that never happened. 5 million somethings is a lot of somethings to try to hide and seek. Time is over. Just one paragraph from the released papers claimed that despite receiving at least $315,000 from Burisma in 2014 alone, the subject's Form 1014 does not reflect any of that income. Therefore, there is probable cause to believe that the subject filed a false 2014 1040 in violation of 26 U.S.C. This is where I'd like to remind people that Al Capone was put away for tax fraud, but Capone didn't have a daddy sitting in the Oval Office. Add up the money shown in the court documents that Biden earned working for Burisma from 14 to 18, and it comes up to just under $5 million. Not bad for someone with zero experience in energy production or distribution. So let's talk about that timeline. On December 1st, 2024, outgoing President Joe Biden signed, or is believed to have signed, a full and unconditional pardon for Hunter, a pardon for offenses he has committed or may have committed stretching back to January 1st, 2014, 10 years. It just so happens that in early 2014 is when things got complicated in Ukraine. Well, that's when things got even more complicated, which is saying something. Ukraine's pro-Moscow President Viktor Yanukovych suspended talks on closer EU relations in late 2013 and proposed closer ties with Russia. Instead, that move led to popular protests, anti-corruption, pro-democracy, anti-authoritarian. Weeks of protests led to over 100 civilians being deleted in the streets by Yanukovych's security forces, and then Parliament removed him from power. It would be fair to say what followed wasn't quite as anti-corruption, pro-democracy, and anti-authoritarian as desired. Nevertheless, the presidential elections that followed in 2014 and in 2019 seem to have been conducted relatively cleanly and fairly. Chaos followed Yanukovych's in Parliament's appointment to pro-West, I'm not even going to try to say the names, as the country's interim president. Both sides jumped in. Russia came in heavy with little green men to seize Crimea, with lots of weapons and other support for ethnic Russian separatists in Ukraine's east. Westerners preferred to cash in on the chaos was just where Hunter Biden came in. It helped considerably that he had his father, the vice president of the United States, running interference. It was Vice President Biden who famously threatened to withhold $1 billion in U.S. aid unless Ukraine's post-Maidan government fired its top prosecutor. The man was fired, and Biden bragged about it on video. Biden Pierre saw that Hunter would never see justice, but at least we now know of more of the damning facts. You can't get my head around a preemptive pardon. Well, yeah, it's pretty hard to do that. On his video, he shouted out the song that Shizzy wrote about the fleas. I can't remember the name it was called. Was his video last night? Yeah, it is. It's Mac and Fleas, and I have it out there. Someone was asking about that yesterday. Somebody was asking about that yesterday, and I do have that video. I'll have to see if I can pull it up for you guys so you can actually hear it if you're wondering about that particular song. It's good. It's good. Mac and Fleas, one of my fun ones, because that's what I do. I actually make music a lot of times. It's crazy how that works. So somebody was asking about this. Well, if you're wondering what the song is, you can find it under my playlist. I'll have music videos, because there's actually a music video for this one. You want me to share it to you? Here you go. This is it.
Mac and Fleas. One's a washed up lawsuit with meat sweats. The other's a moldy sympathy sponge with a smoker's rasp. Both talk big, both got zero to back it. Back it, back it, back it. Mac stomping in like he's king of the clowns, flapping them gums like he paid by the sound. Lost a lawsuit to a noodle plate, now he's throwing subpoenas like cheap bait. Big man act, but the shoes don't fit, looking like he sweats gravy when he throw his little fits. Can't take heat, can't stand facts, so he hides behind filings and limp slap attack. Mac and Fleas. Two scams, one stream, begging for bucks in a cracked up scheme. Mac and Fleas. No shame, no teeth, just barn door lies in a GoFundMe. Mac and Fleas. Bitchin' fake pain, Fleas sounding like a cat in a cigarette drain. Mac and Fleas. Truth don't stick, cause they slick talk slow when they grift too quick. Fleas on cam, voice rough as bark, mouth full of air in a sob story arc. Barn door blueprints ain't no bill, just scam that money for a vape and a bill. Says she built a fence for the child's protection, but that cash hits snacks in a live collection. Posting like trauma's a fashion brand, with a smile full of gum and a trembling hand. They ain't influencers, they're infection vectors with Wi-Fi. Every time they post, a brain cell dies. Mac and Fleas. Beg for relief, but never show proof, just grief on repeat. Mac and Fleas. Blubber and block, their version of truth is a TikTok mock. Mac and Fleas. Faking the hurt, pipping sick kids in a live stream skirt. Mac and Fleas. Burning goodwill, selling snake oil with an oxy pill. Mac's got core dreams, a snack cake arm, still flexing like the law don't do harm. He swings them threats like a leaky bat, but forgets the judge can smell the rat. Flea still crying over ancient beef, while cashing in on secondhand grief. That rasp ain't trauma, that's a pack a day, and a jawline that slid halfway away. Mac Fleas, you too are the cautionary tale they tell at barbecues. Don't feed the trolls, they say, especially when they come toothless, broke, and reeking of expired sympathy. You too are the cautionary tale they tell at barbecues. Don't feed the trolls, they say, especially when they come toothless, broke, and reeking of expired sympathy.
Yeah, so that's the song. There you go. You can't buy it. You gotta grift it. Oh, that's the thing. See, it will be available to purchase. The cool thing is you can find it on YouTube. Almost all of the songs that I release at some point in time get put out on the oh yeah, you like that? The expired sympathy. It's just like a little fun, a little fun. So that particular song is going to be on the next album that I put out. Yeah, I've got at least it's Mo time. Yeah, Mo, I'll be forwarding everybody over to Mo here in a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to take a quick break, go get myself some more coffee, and I'll be back in just a short bit. So enjoy the otters and the other woodland creatures. And I've also updated the stream dance, but I have to still upload it. So once I get that one uploaded, you'll get a new video for that one.
And Shizzy, when it's chat, we thrive. Where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh in funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk and Shizzy, when it's chat, we thrive. Where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh in funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, and inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy, when it's chat, we thrive. Where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh in funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, to inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we spam the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we come together night and day. We laugh, we play in our way. A family in a cyberspace, loving hearts in this virtual place. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
All right, and we are back with this story right here, and I do have the song, the new video uploaded, so I'll probably play that before we end today. So if you're hanging out, you'll get to see the updated video. It's close to the same, but just some slight differences. I also have a couple of other things that I've added in. We'll see how they actually go, because this is gonna be good whenever I get all of these other ones uploaded. So just give it a little bit of time, and then we've got that one and one more, is this one here. So those will be added in there very shortly. Like I said, I was busy yesterday outside of, the YouTube thing. And I actually have to do a job. It won't help me. You're by yourself. Oh, don't be by yourself. It's okay, Snoozy Q. It's okay. Too much too soon. Why AOC won't be the Dems nominee, but this person will. 2 days ago, Axios ran this thrilling headline. AOC seizes the moment as Dems seek new identity. Great story. It brands AOC as the future of her party, the once and future queen of liberal such effusive praise. AOC has been cheered like a political rock star over the past 2 weeks. Ocasio-Cortez 35 is among the most popular Democratic politicians. Ocasio-Cortez's fundraising has surged in the first months of Trump's administration. She can use the money to help build potential allies, build a bigger organization, or save her 2028 run for president or Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's seat. In the first 3 months of 2025, she raised $9.6 million, more than double what she'd ever raised in a quarter. The following days, none other than Fox News followed suit, noting Schumer thinks AOC soars in new poll as liberal voters demand harder line on Trump. More momentum for AOC. After the prerequisite gloating over Schumer's collapse, FNC noted her numbers are soaring. Ocasio, the 4-term Democrat from New York and progressive champion, stands at 47% favorable and 33% unfavorable among New York state voters. That's a jump from 30 to 39 the last time Sienna asked about it. Ocasio-Cortez among the statewide sample of respondents 4 years ago. And here, at long last, as AOC's moment has arrived. It's party time, baby. Ooh. Yeah, the next AOC, gosh, that was fast. MSNBC flipped the script. And it said actor Don Johnson once said his career came in 4 stages, and he named each stage after the battle cry of the casting director. Who the hell is Don Johnson? Give me Don Johnson. Give me someone like Don Johnson. And then number 4, who the hell is Don Johnson? It's not even May of 2025, and AOC has already hit stage 3. She's peaked too early. Pundits and pollsters like Nate Silver are absolutely correct. She's the current front runner for the Democrats' 28 presidential nomination. Nobody else is even within spitting distance. The far left of the party is animated and motivated, and their preferred candidate will have the highest basement in the primaries. The only candidate who could plausibly run to her left is Bernie Sanders, but she smartly co-opted the Bernie Bros and social media movement. It's hers now. At this point, it would take a committed communist to run to her left. Shh, don't give them any ideas. So her vulnerability isn't ideological. It's the so-called moderate wing of the Democrat Party isn't strong enough to deliver the mortal wound anyway. The few 28 candidates, including Gavin Newsom of Florida, or California, are making play as the liberal uniter, someone who could advance liberal policies without conservative blowback. He stated his case with The Hill yesterday in a piece entitled Exclusive Newsom on Democrats. I don't know what the party is. Newsom has badly misread the room. The liberal base is frothing. The perpetual state of PMS. They don't want to unify her. That's the last thing they want. They want to destroy her. They're pleading for a savior who will destroy Donald Trump, smash MAGA into a million pieces, bankrupt Tesla, and deliver a pound of flesh from that bloody, dismembered carcass of their enemies. If you don't understand that, you can't win the Democrat nomination, which means they're not really looking for a politician. They want an avatar, a vessel for vengeance. They want to impale MAGA with the hottest iron in the fire. The trouble is, by the time 2028 rolls around, AOC's iron will be room temperature, to say the least. The next big thing has a short shelf life. Eventually, the novelty wears off, and when it does, you're old news. Between now and November of 2028, AOC will be given thousands of speeches, ghostwriting thousands of op-eds, posting thousands of snarky posts on social media, and making thousands of personal appearances. She'll also be voting on thousands of bills. Perhaps we're underestimating her, and she's a woman of rare substance, a generational political mastermind. If so, she'll be able to handle the rigors of being bell-to-bell presidential frontrunner, smoothly pivoting with the headlines to stay one step ahead of the liberal expectations. But if she's anything less, then this was too much too soon, because eventually another shiny object will come along, and just like a bunch of crows, they'll go running towards it. As for who Democrats will ultimately select as their party's nominee, let me give you a hint. If you remember, it wasn't a politician who forced Joe Biden to step aside. It was actor George Clooney, and the most discussed political opt-out of 2025 didn't come from a politician either. It came from Larry David. Democrats don't take their advice from the political class anymore. They listen to Hollywood. The Democrat Party 28 nominee will come from the world of entertainment. This doesn't totally kneecap AOC's chances since she's more celebrity than politician, but she's not the only left-leaning celebrity with the ability to use a teleprompter and recite a speech. The biggest difference will be by the time 2028 rolls around, we've heard AOC's speeches thousands of times, and she'll be old news by then, and so will she. This will provide an opportunity for a liberal celeb to jump in at the last minute, be perceived as shiny and new, and become the perfect avatar of the left-wing anger. Maybe it'll be someone like Stephen A. Smith. My money is on Jen Psaki, Jon Stewart, or Rachel Maddow. In all probability, the Democrats' next nominee is someone you already know, but don't expect to run. And that's just how the wind is blowing. Speaking of wind, how about I let you guys see the latest little one that I'm going to be throwing in there, and you tell me what you think. Tell me if you like same music, just a better look.
Step aside, y'all, it's my time to shine. I'm feeling the groove with these hips of mine. Hands in the air like spaghetti gone rogue. My knees are jelly and my hips just broke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. My shoulders pop like a rusty hinge. My fingers point like they're on a binge. Twirl like a tornado, then drop real low. It's not planned, it's a shit sideshow. I've got the rhythm of a clock that's broke. My dance floor moves are a big effing joke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Rig like a lava lamp, mesmerizing glow. You can't help but watch me steal the show. I summon the shake, the shimmy, the twist, a mix of genius and a big old fist. You're drawn in close, your feet start to twitch, feeling the groove like a broke ass bitch. Yeah, shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Now we're all in the shake, no need to be shy. Move like spaghetti and reach for the sky. We'll dance like we're cursed, laugh to a sore. Shizzy whiz nut reigns forevermore. So join the dance, let your weirdness unfurl. We're shaking ass, not a care in the world.
A little better? I hope you guys like that one a little better. The kid in green is creepy. The kid in green is creepy. Yes, he is creepy. The morning briefing, Trans Hill is the one. Dems want to die, and so let's help them. Happy Thursday, dear Cruiser Morning Briefing friends. Democrats in the 21st century have picked some issues to go all in on that have driven wedges between the party elites and the more regular American types in flyover country. Chief among these issues is their obsession with mainstreaming all things transgender, which exists at the fringe of a fringe. When the Joe Biden reign of error began in 2021, the Democrats decided not only should they be vocal champions of the transgender people, but they should also teach 8-year-old kids about transitioning. Everything has to be the worst, creepiest with the leftists. Here's the disturbing example from something that Sarah wrote yesterday. Imagine this. You're a mother of a 7-year-old girl. You're at your local YMCA for her swimming lessons, and afterwards, the two of you go into the women's locker room so she can change out of her bathing suit into dry clothes before heading home. You're leaving your stall and you hear a man's voice. Before you know what's happening, you see a man sitting in the locker room with his genitals exposed. You question what he's doing in there, and he responds, "Honey, I'm a woman," as you and your daughter run out of the locker room. This isn't some sick scenario that I came up with. It's actually what happened, according to one mom whose daughter takes swim lessons at the North Kansas YMCA in Clay County, Missouri. This is not a case of transitional status, the mother said. This is an issue of somebody showing their body parts to my child in a room where she should be safe from such things. What used to be a crime is now something that leftists have twisted into a civil rights issue. If you're all outraged at the hirsute a pervert exposing his genitalia in a front of a little girl in the name of trans rights, you're called a bigot. In the diseased minds of modern-day Democrats, the child predator in the above scenario is viewed as a brave pioneer fighting for rights. Gee, I wonder why so many traditional Dem voters looked elsewhere last November. Contrary to what Democrats would have people believe, Republicans and conservatives aren't organizing adult transgender witch hunts. We merely prefer that they keep discussions about sexuality and genitals away from young children. A time traveler, say from way back in 2005, might wonder why this is even a concern. Surely rational people from all over the political spectrum could agree that discussions about genital swapping have no place in kindergartens, our time traveling friend would say. But here we are. This from Paula. Enter Muhammad v. Taylor, which is currently before the Supreme Court. At issue, according to Amy Howe, at SCOTUS blog, is whether public schools burden parents' religious exercise when they compel elementary school children to participate in instruction on gender and sexuality against parents' religious convictions and without notice or opportunity to opt out. Moreover, it will rule on who knows best, parents or school bureaucrats. The case involves a school district in Montgomery, which we talked about earlier, which would be a good idea to force the gay materials on children as young as age 3, including vulnerable children with special needs. If a child manages to survive their abortion gauntlet, Democrats want to claim the kid as a prize to be wrested from his or her parents, as I wrote in the classic Don't Let Hippies Shower. The Dems would force you to enroll your children in public schools while he or she was still in the womb if they could. Republicans need to work tirelessly to get Democrat officials on the record about trans rights. If this is the hill they want to die on, let's do all we can to help them charge up the hill for one final pathetic stand. And you can see that not all things are awful. Ah, yes. Giving them vegetables. Looks at them like, no, I'm happy with what I got here. Like, get that crap out of my face. Some things were said without a single word. NFL draft day is here today. Oh, nice. Seems men and boys never have this problem in the locker room, just pervy men doing this crap. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Yet another shining example of what Democrats assured us wasn't happening really was happening the whole time. Here's the alleged scam being run by a guy from Cleveland by the way of Guatemala before the Trump-era feds discovered him doing things Democrats assured us weren't happening. According to the Department of Justice, this newcomer and now indicted Cleveland man is in trouble for illegally trafficking, checks notes, his sister, Was it? The Biden administration's border policy, which consisted of peeing down our leg and telling us it was raining for 4 years, insisted that they had a bead on every kid who came over the border with a trusted person who would reunite these poor babies with members of their families. They did it in the name of humanitarianism, you understand? That was a big fat Lizzo lie, as we all know now. When President Trump 47 came into office, he vowed to track down every one of the estimated 300,000. Keep that in mind, 300,000 unaccompanied children who were disappeared into the United States by Joe Biden and his communist anti-American experts who were given USAID millions and told to shut the hell up. Those humanitarians have a name for the millions of gangsters, drug dealers, Chinese fighting aged males, Tren Aguara, MS-13 henchmen, ISIS, Al-Qaeda terrorists, and human traffickers Joe Biden let in. Newcomers. We call the newcomer in this story Juan to Z. The 26-year-old Cleveland man came to Los Ostitos Unidos in 2023 and broke even more of our laws once he settled into his new adopted town. Then he sent for an underage girl from across the border and told anyone who cared that it was his sister. The DOJ put it this way, which, let's be honest, is a nicer way I put it in this story. On Thursday, a federal grand jury indicted a man for his alleged role in smuggling an unaccompanied child, UAC, to the United States and for allegedly submitting a sponsorship application with false statements to the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement to gain custody of the minor after she entered the United States. Now, hold up for a second. ORR just took this guy's word for it. We were told by Biden's Open Borders Free-for-All office that the Department of Homeland Security was that everyone was fully vetted. In fact, they were as fully vetted as those 8, I'm not even going to try to say the word, nationals with ISIS titles. They were fully vetted, as seriously as I say. All those Afghans lined up at the Kabul airport or hanging onto the sides of C-17 Globemasters, desperately trying to gain elevation to evade shoulder-fired missiles. Remember those Chinese fighting aged males who looked like they just walked out of a kung fu studio? Fully vetted. Indeed, we were assured that the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee, or ORR, connected every child brought over by Biden administration cartel traffickers to family members. But according to the indictment, Juan illegally entered the United States in 2023, and then, like the predatory BO, he was alleged to be encouraged and induced a 14-year-old Guatemalan girl to illegally enter the United States and use the identity of Tool Z's sister as her alias. And here's the part that will most disappoint anyone who believed for 1 second the Biden administration ever told the truth about vetting traffickers and victims. As a UAC, the Guatemalan girl was placed in the care and custody of ORR, Office of Refugee Resettlement, as alleged. Tool Z then falsely stated on documents submitted to ORR when he applied to his sponsors and obtained custody of the girl that he was the UAC's brother and that her alias was her actual name. ORR relied on Tool Z's alleged false statements when, on or about September 5th, 2023, ORR released the UAC to Tool Z's care. The ORR is now under new management, and the Cleveland man is under indictment. He's been charged with 1 count of encouraging or inducing illegal entry for financial gain, 1 count of making false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement, and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. It doesn't sound like much at this point, but considering that the Democrats and whoever was president autopen on any given day said this wasn't happening, it's a small yet important victory for transparency. Will anyone at Mea Culpa office issue a correction? Well, don't make me laugh. The Cleveland man could be sentenced to Florida lockup for as long as 10 years in prison on the illegal entry count, a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison on the false statement count, and a mandatory consecutive penalty of 2 years in prison on the aggravated identity theft count. Maybe if he's found guilty and in prison, he'll be put on the Democrats' prisoner visitation rotation. Yeah. After, other than us regular folks, nobody in the elite class seems very upset with the child trafficking problems. I wonder why that is. Well, because Michelle proves again that the Obamas are totally hiding something. I don't know what the deal is with this. I haven't read this yet, so this ought to be pretty good. Michelle Obama has finally broken her silence to explain why she skipped Donald Trump's inauguration. Considering the excuse she came up with, she would have been better off not saying anything at all. She revealed her explanation on her podcast, which nobody listens to, and it boils down to a claim that she didn't show up because she had nothing to wear. People couldn't believe that I was sane for no other reason. They had to assume that my marriage was falling apart. She said, it took everything in my power to not do the thing that was perceived as right, but do things that was right for me. That was a hard thing for me to do. She then explained she essentially had to trick herself into not going to the inauguration. Yeah, right. It started with not having anything to wear. She explained, I was like, if I'm not gonna do this thing, I got to tell my team I don't want to have a dress ready, right? Because it's so easy to just say, let me do the right thing. Then she expects us to believe that explanation. If her team didn't prepare a dress for her, she knew she wouldn't be able to change her mind. Attending events without her husband or vice versa all tie into Obama's efforts to practice the art of saying no when it feels like the right decision. So she wants us to believe that this was all about a dress. Please. This excuse for skipping Trump's second inauguration is as believable as, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. What's she hiding behind this flimsy excuse? Look, she knows very well that there has been widespread speculation about her marriage to Barack. Do I think they'll get a divorce? Oh, heck no. They need to keep up the certain image. Do I think they'll stay together and have a show marriage like the Clintons? Absolutely, I do. Honestly, if she had just said she had no desire to go on principle, it may have made her look petty, but I could accept that as honest. This cockamamie explanation about Michelle not having a clean dress because her staff didn't have one ready for her reeks of phoniness. The idea that a woman of Obama's fame and fortune couldn't find something to wear is laughable. This isn't about a dress, it's about something far, far deeper. Something she clearly doesn't want us to know. What skeletons are lurking in the Obama closet? Earlier this month, I said the Obamas were hiding something, and this latest revelation only strengthens that belief. Whenever Michelle is pressed about swirling rumors of a divorce, she dodges with vague and plated platitudes instead of issuing a clear denial. Take her recent appearance on Sophia Bush's Work in Progress podcast. Rather than a simple, unambiguous Barack and I are not getting divorced, she launched into a rambling monologue about being a grown woman making decisions and wrapped the entire conversation in a veil of empowerment speak. She talked about asking herself hard questions like, do I truly want to be every day? Sorry, but those aren't words of someone shutting down speculation. Hey, Bro Kiffy, how you doing? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. But, as we say, here's the perfect solution for sending Joe Biden's hordes of illegal voters back home. Democrats accused President Donald Trump of being no better than I'm not even going to say the name right, the Chilean dictator who in the 70s is believed to have disappeared hundreds of his political opponents. They contend Trump disappeared, or more accurately, kicked out of the country and sent home the aliens who came illegally to the United States under Joe Biden's clowered and pivot open borders free-for-all. Trump has even told them to self-deport. Telling people to go home is the 2025 version of disappearing people, according to Democrats. Democrats and their go-to judges now resist Trump by demanding that the illegal aliens receive special legal hearings before he can kick them out of the country. If he fails to do their political bidding, they threaten to impeach him again if they capture the House in 2026. Happily, there's a middle path both sides can agree on, since Democrats said not a peep about the unvetted hordes of humanity streaming over our southern border for 4 years. Said nothing about the stacks of passports from the unfriendly countries left on Mexican soil, allowed unchecked fake families to traffic children into sex slavery, and then gave these hordes court dates years to the future that would be attended by no one. Then an obvious and acceptable compromise is before us. As whip-smart PJ Media readers may know, the Democrats' latest cause of celebrity is Maryland father and alleged MS-13 gangster who illegally crossed the border, then told immigration officials that he can't go back home because a rival gang might do him harm. Kilmar Garcia wasn't supposed to be sent back to his home country of El Salvador because the rival gang members might hurt him. And as I've explained in this piece, Do you know why the Beat Field MS-13 Maryland father was mistakenly deported? Since he was a member of a terrorist organization, however, and has shown his unwillingness to leave our country, Trump sent him to prison in El Salvador like the other Tren MS-13 gangsters deported and imprisoned under the Aliens Enemies Act. Democrats, on the other hand, have inspired by Chris Van Hollen's PR trip to Seacott Prison, where the short-sleeved and tatted MS-13 member canoodled with the Maryland senator. Even CNN was shocked that Van Hollen failed to ask the inmate if he was a member of the terrorist organization. The meeting did provide, however, an opportunity for the world to see his tats, as I explained in this story. The sainted Abigail Garcia sports knuckle tattoos that the Trump administration, the DOJ, Immigration and Custom Enforcement Agency, two immigration judges, and Maryland police identified him as an MS-13 member. That organization is now considered to be a terrorist organization. Van Hollen left his actual constituents wondering why he cared more about this gangland terrorist than them. It was a legitimate question. Other congressional reps, however, were downright thrilled by the prospect of standing up for due process, and MS-13 immediately sought to copy him. One congresswoman even threatens to stay in El Salvador until she gets Garcia freed from the shackles of imprisonment.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter here, coming to you from El Salvador. I flew here last night with 3 of my colleagues to demand that Kilmar Abrego Garcia be released. He is being held in violation of a Supreme Court order expressly telling the Trump administration to effectuate and facilitate his coming home. That is being ignored. This is not just a threat to all people in the United States who could be illegally abducted, detained, and transported internationally against their will, but it is a fact that our president does not recognize the branches of government and the balances of power. This is what we all have been calling a constitutional crisis, yet it is more severe than anything we've seen. We cannot stay silent. We must stay loud. I am here because I refuse to wait.
Well, stay there. Don't come back. Give up your seat and just go stand up for what you believe on, and not on the taxpayer's dime. Spend your own money doing this. Good. Maybe they can keep her too. I'm with you on that. I agree, Jim. I wish they would.
For something to happen. We are here to release Kilmar.
No, she doesn't. But if it did, that would be horrible. Democrat Representative Madeline Dean wiped away a tear as she told those gathered at a town hall meeting in Pennsylvania that if President Trump could send back an illegal alien, any one of us could be disappeared. My son has a lot of tattoos. One of them is a crown. He might be disappeared. The congresswoman described as being emotional at the meeting, claiming that she, too, could be taken by Trump and never be heard from again. I have a tattoo. My son and I could be disappeared. She wailed before her constituents. I hope someone handed her a triangle to wipe away her tears. Anyway, proving that conspiracy theories befall both the right and the left, Dean claimed Trump would declare martial law and round up the usual suspects. So taking all of this into consideration, the most obvious and sensible way is to spurn Joe Biden's hordes of illegal voters by using a roughly equivalent process by which he brought them in. No hearings, no due process, no ID, no proof of asylum, no more using arrest warrants for ID. Send those fake families back home. No Democrats ever complained about it when the open border backdoor and fighting age Chinese men came across the border. No Democrats complained about the suspected 1,000 al-Qaeda terrorists who snuck across the border to harm us. No Democrats complained of Joe Biden disappearing millions of illegal strangers into the United States with no recourse by legal citizens whose votes were being diluted and lives were imperiled. No Democrats argued against using Joe's Uber-like app to fly into the U.S., so they surely can't complain about sending them back. And you can read more by Victoria Taft. She writes for PJ Media, and she's pretty darn awesome. If you haven't checked her out, then go check her out. And it is becoming that time of day where my happy ass has to get back to work. I have about a million things to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a stream set up for tonight, as I have a meeting that I have to handle. It's a board meeting that I have to handle tonight. So stay tuned. Hopefully, I do have time to get some streaming in for this evening, but no guarantees on that. I do have a new letter to the to the Karen Reed prosecution that will be released, I believe it around 9 o'clock, and after that it'll send everyone over to go watch Mo and Baker in Valhalla. So go check that video out. It should be fun. It's a nice open letter. It's just a recap of what happened the day before. I have it playing in the background while I work. I just don't have time to sit down and give a nice thorough legal analysis or any crap like that, which I'm not, I couldn't give you one anyway, even if I tried. But hopefully I have time to put out a stream tonight. If I don't have time to go over anything, then I might just play a game or something like that. Something chill. We'll see. We shall see. I don't know what's going to be happening tonight yet. I will know more as the day wears on. Like I said, a lot to do today, and everybody go give Mo some love. Make sure that you give her a nice thumbs up and give her lots of love. Everyone have a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
And shine, coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Wait, why are you still